Hey, welcome everybody to Kerrigan and Company. So glad you could be with us for this edition. We got a great lineup today, and keeping me company is someone who certainly recognizes a camera, that is for certain, and knows how to work a camera. Maria Sansone has been an Emmy Award-winning television broadcaster. She's an entertainment reporter. She's a lifestyle reporter. She is an unbelievable influencer. She's an author, and she's also a mom, and she's my neighbor.
Fun fact.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yes.
Hi, good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. So I thought, wow, I'm really worried about Maria getting here. You know, I hope she knows how to get here, whatever. And then I find out from our one of our producers, engineer.
Yeah.
That you've been in this studio before. You're a regular here.
You know, I'm a podcast girl. I'm a TV girl. I find a studio. I come wandering in. Yes, I have been here before. Yeah. And it's great. And it was so funny how we ran into each other.
Should we share that story with people?
I've been booked on the podcast for a while now. Mm-hmm. And then I go to this fabulous event in town. I love the Kentucky Derby. I love a dress-up moment.
You called it, I saw that you referred to it as a holiday.
It is, yeah. It's like a holiday for me.
I love that Kentucky Derby holiday.
The food and the costume and the sport of it all. I love it. I love it so much. Anyway, I go to this great event, and my husband's parking the car, and I see this fabulous woman pull up in this fun little vintage car. She's got this great hat and this beautiful matching outfit, and I thought, wow, she's got it together. And wasn't it Kim?
It
comes sauntering up in her outfit, and I go, I love this outfit. And I think at some point we put together.
We did.
Oh.
Yes, who we were.
Each other.
I was wearing a hat so large that my husband was driving on an angle to stay in the car. And if you see any of the pictures of me at this event, either people are standing under my hat or I have to be on the end because my hat is so large.
Go big or go home, baby.
Listen, let me tell you, it's the only day of the year that you can sort of get away with that, but it's so much fun. I have to tell you, we're going to back into who you are because she has two extremes, and I want to explain this to you. She was at one point, Maria, was at one point named the youngest reporter in America. At 11 years old, she had a reporting gig.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I realized that was just 10 years ago.
Right.
But having said that, she is most recently an author, which is so exciting. And now I'm going to tell you something that I haven't told you since you've been here in the studio.
I love the secret.
I made one of your recipes last night.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
What did you make?
Yes, I did. I made the enchiladas.
Oh.
Put the
whole
spinach.
Enchilada.
With the chicken and the spinach
and the black beans.
The black beans.
Yes.
Lots of sour cream. You say your family loves sour cream.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
And it was fantastic.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm
so fun.
glad. I brought you a copy now.
Oh,
a signed
you.
Copy so you can have it
so
forever.
let me show everybody the book.
Yeah.
And it's Maria. The whole first off, the name of it is just off the charts. What is for dinner?
Oh shit! What's for dinner? Yes, I think we're in the place where we can say that.
Yeah, I
in the
think
podcast
we are in a
world,
place. You bet.
On broadcast TV, we'll say, "Oh shh, what's for dinner?" But the author intended it to be
absolutely
what's for dinner.
Absolutely,
because that's what we're thinking every night.
Well, and you're so right about this because this is the one thing. Even there's a great commercial right now, and somebody is giving the commencement address, and at the end they go, "And remember, now that you're adults, you even have to figure out what's for dinner every night." And that is so true.
Every night. It never lets up.
And you've got kids.
And I've got kids. So as someone who is juggling a lot of different things all the time and working high pressure jobs and, commuting and stuff like that, I would come home and just think, oh God, I got to do it all over again. And now people need to eat.
Yeah.
So this was the book that I needed. I heard someone say once, you write the book that you need to read. You write the book that you need, and this was the book that I desperately needed. So this is just a collection of my favorite go-to meals throughout the course of my life. And as you read it, I sort of take you through all my travels and life growing up with my grandparents and my parents. And so there's influences from all of that, all put together for a weeknight. Like, how can we really get this on the table in 20 to 30 minutes, cut the crap, and just feed our family and feel good about it?
Absolutely.
I found that so many women aren't empowered in the kitchen. They're spending a lot of money. They're doing a lot of door dashing. They're just spinning their wheels. And literally, I think it's money down the drain.
Yep.
So I wanted to empower women. I wanted to give them something in their tool belts that they could feel good about. Because I don't know about you, but when I am able to make something out of nothing and put together a meal, whether it be for myself or me and my husband or the whole family, it's a win.
It is
you
a win.
Feel good.
You really do.
It's an
I agree with that.
endorphin boost.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And what I can tell, because I went through and looked at, some of the recipes before I made the decision about which one I would
Good
make last
choice,
night.
by the way.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. And I actually saw you making it with your daughter, your
Yes.
adorable daughter. I'm going to say her name, Grace. We won't
Yes,
say anything
yes.
more than that. But adorable Grace. And she was so into it, which is fun. So my point being, these are great meals for during the week with things that you have most likely in your fridge. That's where I would frequently run into, oh, that sounds like a great recipe, but who has that ingredient just unless you've gone to specifically put it in.
I wanted it to be real accessible, real approachable, things we knew how to pronounce, things we had hanging around.
Right.
But I will say that grocery shop is the first step. Being a good shopper and having those staples in your house is going to save your ass on a Tuesday night when you come home.
Yes, it is.
Also, another tip, it's great to have the book. It's great to have some recipes in your tool belt, but you need a plan. And you need a plan each week. So at the beginning of the week, I will sit down with my little menu planner. And I will actually devise a plan. Because once I've written it down, it's real.
Right.
And then I can take that to the grocery store with me and have everything I need and reference it as the week inevitably gets crazy.
Sure.
And that has helped me a lot.
Well, and it also lifts the stress, and that's a stress you don't need,
that
right?
Decision fatigue.
Absolutely.
That's a thing. Decision fatigue. What am I making? What are we doing? What am I wearing? It just eliminates that one thing.
It does.
There's a reason
Absolutely.
Steve Jobs dressed in black from head to toe every day, and it was because he didn't want to deal with the decision fatigue that
absolutely.
we women go through
every day,
many times a day.
Right, right. Starts with our earrings and just works its way right on down.
Its way all the way down.
Well, it's a terrific book. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know that the reception has been great, and I understand why. It's really terrific. And it's a pretty little book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really
this was
is.
all me.
Oh,
it was all me. The process, and I'm so excited
again because I want everybody to see how pretty it is. It's got just a beautiful finish. It's really a nice book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All of it just. It's so funny when you write a book, and I'm so excited that we're going to be talking to an author later because it is a interesting niche little club that you're in. But I went with a traditional publisher, and I was able to publish this book. So I had no idea, no frame of reference, like how much help I would be getting along the way or when it came to the cover or any of it. And it turns out my publisher was very, very, very hands-off, which during the process was terrifying.
Right.
Because all I was given was deadlines. I got no hand-holding, no notes, no nothing. But in the end, I got a book that is 100% Maria, including the cover, including the spine. Even the spine has a story. I wanted that as a nod to Betty Crocker.
Yeah, exactly.
But in a new sort of fresh way.
Yeah.
But and all the recipes in there I think are sort of retro comfort food because I'm sort of an old soul and I spent a lot of time in grandma's kitchen, and so you see a lot of that in there. So from the colors to the print to the graphic, all of it is all me.
Fantastic.
The photos, I worked with a local photographer and I sat there and we styled the food together with a stylist. Like I was in every corner of that. Every nook and cranny.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it reflects well.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful book.
That
So
means a lot.
congratulations to you. I'm so happy for you. You came to being an author from a totally different world.
Sure did.
I mean,
The evolution, right?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And I think it's really great. So let's go back now. We started
This is
as I
where
said,
we have a lot of similarities.
we certainly
We
do.
are TV girls through and through.
It's true, and I mean, you started your TV gig a lot earlier than I did, at 11 years old.
Yes.
So tell that story.
The accidental TV star, I guess you'll say. So the way it happened for me, I think anyone in this business, it requires talent, hard work, but also a big break. maybe a couple big breaks, and then what you do with that. And my big break came unexpectedly when I was 11 years old. I was a big sports fan and a huge basketball fan, even though I stood at like 4'0", 100 and nothing, as I still kind of do.
Yeah.
And I was at a local basketball game with my grandparents, and they had a slam dunk contest for kids where they lower the rim down and they have the kids come out and slam it. And so the kids came out and they sort of were kind of shy and doing their thing. And I, being a huge basketball fan and a fan of Michael Jordan and everything that was happening in the early 90s, I went out there and
not aware of your height.
and not aware of literally anything, Kim. I was like, I'm going to own this. So I go out on the basketball court and it was like my stage. I grabbed the ball, I put it between my legs, around my back, hung on the rim, tongue out. And if that weren't enough, started running around the floor of the, going, let's go!
Cheer for me!
And of course, the crowd goes wild. This little girl, I beat the boys. I won the competition. There was a local reporter there from the TV station. And of course, he's like, I got to grab a clip with this girl. She's just too funny. And so he interviewed me, and he says, really taken aback by how much I knew about the basketball game. And I started talking about the coaching this year and the defense. And he wasn't expecting any of that.
Yep.
And he says he drove back to the TV station that night and thought, we could do something with her. What if she interviewed kids and we started incorporating them into the news? Or what if, and he and I put our heads together, and next thing you know, I landed an interview with Jim Kelly, who was, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. And again, this was the early 90s. This was the Bills' heyday. And the rest is history. It was in Erie, Pennsylvania, just sort of a small town, small market. But what I was doing captured national attention, and really fast.
I bet.
So I went viral before viral was a thing.
Yeah.
But my story got picked up by the Wall Street Journal, which is a whole other story. And when that hit, it all hit the fan.
It all went.
Yeah, I got calls from Good Morning America and The Tonight Show and Letterman, and you had Joan London on. Joan London interviewed me on Good Morning America.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild ride.
And was there a time period, obviously you're 11 years old at that point, and there's a whole lot of education yet and a whole lot of things still to go.
6th grade.
Yeah, exactly. But was there a time period that you ever completely stepped away
I did.
from? Yeah.
And it was a banger. So I went on from 11 till 13, pretty hardcore, and while still going to school, still playing basketball, but trying to manage all of it. I was actually
How were the kids? How'd the other kids treat you?
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great. Luckily, I was in the confines of my little parochial school where I had been going to school with these kids for 20, since there was like 23 of us in the class, and we had been together since we were in kindergarten. So they were great, but outside of that, people were bullies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that definitely weighed on me more than I cared to admit at the time.
Sure.
But I was afraid to go to dances. I was afraid to get out of my little circle of my friends. I was just telling my daughter actually the other day that I won like a science competition. I was going to be able to go to states, and I wouldn't go because I was afraid that I was going to get bullied.
People were not going to be nice.
I did.
Right.
But
jealousy is a nasty
thing. So that definitely
thing.
played into it is, especially when you're coming of age. I mean, that's the hardest time anyway. So I'm sure this played into my decision. But when I was 13, I was graduating from 8th grade, that school that I told you about where I've been with these kids forever. So graduation from that school was a really big thing. And I was getting ready to go to high school, and I was going to try to make the basketball team, which was my dream. And I knew I was going to have to work really, really hard and focus. I've always been a very determined, hard worker. And I was scheduled to be on a show called Oprah. Okay? That summer. And it just so happened when we got the date, it was the date of my 8th grade graduation. And all that stuff that came with it. Yeah. So I told my parents, there's no way. I got to do this.
Right.
And they said, all right, listen, if you're going to turn down Oprah, you're a big girl. You got to get on the phone. You've got to call those producers because we had done the pre-interview. We had done all that. You've got to call those producers and tell them that you unfortunately are not going to be able to make it and explain to them the situation. I was afraid to call for pizza. I'm only 13. I mean, even though I'm a big national, you know, sportscaster, I'm still 13. And so I remember taking the cordless phone and going up in the hallway and calling the Oprah show. I may be the only person on earth who ever turned down Oprah.
I know. I know you're the only person I know who ever turned down Oprah.
I know. And I've definitely met a lot of people too. But it was a huge turning point for me because I was a kid and I had a lot of grown-ups telling me what to do and where to go and how we were going to run things. And it was just, we kept getting opportunities. So it was like, yes, yes, yes. And I kept trying to get off the train for a little, but I wasn't able to do that. So this made a big splash. This put me in the driver's seat. This showed my parents and the people around me that she means business. Right. And they backed off. Yeah. And I got to go to high school, and I made that basketball team. Great. Shortest person, I think, to ever play for that high school team. Had a wonderful, normal high school experience, and then jumped back into TV in college. Yeah.
Went on to Syracuse.
Yes.
I have a affinity for Syracuse.
Yes.
And I have chatted about it.
Yeah.
And then you went two places.
No.
Because you got a master's. Oh.
No. That was it. Got my master's in the hard knocks of working. Yeah. So what happened was at Syracuse, I had this great career as a kid, and now I'm just a normal college kid. I'm at Newhouse, one of the most prestigious communication schools in the country, with hundreds of other people who want to do the thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, geez, I wonder if I got it. Like, was that just a thing I did? Was I just a novelty? Will this really be my path? Or should I be thinking of other things?
This is a test.
Yeah. And my junior year, Kelly Ripa had just taken over for Kathy Lee Gifford on Regis and Kelly. And just shortly after getting the show, she found out she was pregnant, live on the air, if you recall. Well, she shared it live on the air. She found out probably privately. Hopefully. But anyway, she had to take some time off, and they were going to have college co-eds fill in for her. They were looking for somebody. And they put the ask out, and my dad calls, he goes, I think you should make a tape. I said, all right. So I put together a tape, and yada, yada, yada. I got picked to sit next to Regis and fill in for Kelly Ripa when I was 20 years old.
Wow. Yeah. And
when I talked earlier about opportunity knocking and catching big breaks, I got 2, because that was big break number 2. And that was the one where now I'm an adult. I had 1 year left of college, and then it was like,
that's a career launcher.
Let's go.
Right.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Oh, it's great. It's terrific. All right. We have much more to discuss. We have to take a quick break here. We have to pay the bills.
Got to keep the lights on.
Exactly.
I get
dimmed, but on. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll have much more with Maria Sansone as the show progresses. We have a wonderful guest coming our way here in just 2 minutes. So stay with us, everybody. We'll meet you on the other side of the break. This is Kerrigan and Company.